everybody. Happy Monday and welcome back to Marketplace Monday. This is our third episode of Marketplace Monday. If you missed the first two episodes, make sure you log on now to ccua.org. Watch the first two episodes. There's a lot of great information in there. We talked to some wonderful vendors. We played some games. Actually, your mystery clues for the first two episodes are in those shows. And if you're just tuning in now and you don't know what the mystery clue game is, all the credit union decision makers that are watching now or will be watching in the weeks coming forward, you have a chance to win $2,000 in cash. You have to gather up all the clues in our mystery clue game. And at the end, if you get the mystery phrase or word and you submit that, we'll pick a winner. One person wins $2,000 in cash. So make sure you go back and watch the first two episodes of Marketplace Monday on ccua.org. Coming up on the show, we've got lots of opportunities for you to continue to win money. All the credit union decision makers have a chance to win not only that $2,000, but I've got some Visa gift cards we'll be giving away. There's a feature on the window that you're watching right now. It's a chat feature. So make sure that you go on there, use the chat feature, ask our vendors questions, ask us any questions. We'll get back to you in a timely fashion. But that's also the place where you're going to be entering to win the Visa gift card. So go to the chat feature on ccua.org/live right now and make sure you use that chat feature throughout all of these episodes. I want to make a quick mention that our CCUA virtual convention, Moving Forward Together, registration is now open. So go to ccua.org and get all the information for our virtual convention. And much like Marketplace Monday, it'll look different this year, but just like everything else the CCUA does, we'll do it right. We'll make it accessible for all the vendors, all the credit union membership folks. It'll be a lot of fun. So register now for our CCUA virtual convention, Moving Forward Together at ccua.org. A lot of great vendors coming up on the show. Actually, all of our vendors that join us on the show have a chance to spin the prize wheel for $25, $50 gift cards, also Dunkin' Donuts gift cards. And every vendor partner that joins us on our CU Marketplace Monday is automatically entered into a drawing for a 75-inch flat screen TV. So you've been at home for a few months. Figure out where you're going to put it if you win. I'm really happy to welcome our first guest of the show. He's sitting in our virtual green room. Ray Mahoney, you can unmute your mic. He is the Vice President, Payment Advisor, specifically for credit unions of Elan Advisory Services. Ray, thanks for joining us on the show this morning.
Hey, thank you for having me. Appreciate being here.
Absolutely. I saw you nodding your head in the virtual green room. You want that flat screen TV.
Who wouldn't, right?
I think you can put it right on that wall behind you, right?
Yeah, I got 3 kids, so plenty of room for everybody to watch. That would be great.
I love it. So Ray is basically your credit card guy specifically for credit unions. But talk about, you just mentioned kids. Where are you located and how are things during COVID for you and yourself personally? Let's start with that.
Yeah, so I'm based out of Cleveland, Ohio. So we were the first shutdown, right? The state of Ohio, our governor was pretty famous for that. So we've been doing this for a while. It was sometime in March, I think. Time flies when you're having fun, right? But it's been an interesting adventure, especially with 3 little ones. I have a 5-year-old daughter and then twin boys that are 2. So I have a lot of little energy in the house. And so like the first probably 30 days, it was like, this is fun. We can get creative and do fun kid games and build little puzzles and things. And then 2 months into it, you're like, okay, I'm running out of ideas. What do I do? So yeah, and we moved in the middle of all of it. So this has been one heck of an adventure. But I think, and I miss being out on the road too. It's kind of the tough part about it. But the moments like these are what kind of make it,
we wanted to make sure at the CCUA for our Marketplace Monday. I mean, we would get together every year for Marketplace Experience at the DCU Center, and that's where all vendors like yourself would come out. All the credit union decision makers and membership leadership would come out, and we'd have lunch, we'd do breakout sessions, and everybody would mingle and shake hands. And when it was lockdown time, we just said we still have to. It's our responsibility to put you vendors in front of our membership. So we thought about this short and sweet platform. I don't want to be on here for more than an hour each Monday. I want to get a chance to talk to you, give away some prizes, talk to a few other good guests, make it educational for these people, and then just get on with your Monday. Go back to your 3 kids and go back to your job and whatever else you got to do. I mean, nobody wants to be on a virtual call for 4 hours. That's just Yeah, no, I'm all set with that. So we're making these short and sweet, but it's good. Everybody's happy and healthy in your world.
Yeah, everybody's doing good so far. So
good. Well, let's get down to business. Ray is the vice president, a credit union payments advisor. He specializes in credit unions, and that's perfect because this is the Cooperative Credit Union Association's Marketplace Monday. Everything credit cards. You know, you've written down here, we're completely different than any other credit card provider. Go into that a little bit for the decision makers that are watching the show right now, Ray.
Yeah, so we are the original and largest agent credit card provider. We've been working with credit unions since like 1997. We have over 300 credit union partners nationwide. We even work with credit unions that vary greatly in size, from less than 1,000 members all the way up to over 350,000 members. And our model is a little different because we are an agent provider. So just to kind of put it out there, we do buy the asset from the credit union, and with that allows a lot of different functionality and benefits to the credit union that the typical processing system doesn't allow. So we eliminate all the risk, especially in a time like this where everybody's questioning what's going on with forbearance, and if bankruptcies are a concern, and just the economic situation that we're in. All that eliminates from that card program from the credit union. The compliance, all the operation sides of things comes off their plate, and we manage all that for them, and it becomes a secure form of revenue every month for the credit union. And we work together, and we're dedicated to managing that portfolio and that card program for you, which really, credit cards in general are their own beast in their own business, and really do take a lot of time and effort to be able to get it done right. And so with limited resources, a lot of times we're a huge benefit because now we dedicate to that business, and then you can worry about the lending and all the other things that come along with that.
Great. Talking with Ray Mahoney this morning, Vice President, Payment Advisor, specifically for credit unions of Elan Advisory Services. Do you have a website that I can, because I want to constantly promote throughout this, not only who you are, we can talk a little bit about what you do and some services, but how can I get a hold of you quickly? If I'm watching right now and I'm somebody at a credit union that goes, I got to talk to Ray. What's your website? How do I get right to you?
Yeah, so to get right to me would be my cell phone would be the easiest way, which is 216-408-8432. You can email me. A lot of times people feel more comfortable email. It's just Raymond Mahoney, Mahoney at ElanFS, like financialservices.com. And if you want to just take a look at what we have to kind of offer from a broad basis, ElanFinancialServices.com or ElanAdvisoryServices.com.
Okay, and that's good. And I want to make this easy, and certainly we have a chat feature too right now, that if people have questions, if people want to ask Ray a question or make a comment, use the chat feature in there. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. Ray will get back to you, or one of us at the CCUA. And of course, we know who you are. If people want to say, hey, I didn't catch the email or the phone number, they can reach out to us at the Cooperative Credit Union Association and get a hold of you. Talking to Ray Mahoney, Vice President, Payment Advisor for credit unions, Elan Advisory Services. Talk about like your partnership with credit unions. I mean, who at the credit unions is reaching out to you, and why is it important that relationship is so rock solid?
Yeah, so it can vary. It depends on who's in charge of the card program. It could be the director of operations. It could be the chief lending officer, or sometimes the CEO is the head of the card program, and that's really who I engage with, because everything that we do is on a contract and a renewal basis, right? So you may be with a different processor, and there's going to be a certain term to that agreement. And then we like to kind of come in around about 2 years or less out from that renewal period, because if you choose to go with us, it does take some time. And the other important part of that is we want to make sure it's done right for the membership, right? We don't want to rush anything. We want to make sure that the decision that's made is best for you and your credit union and your membership. So having that time is really perfect. And it sounds like a lot, but it goes by real quick. So that's pretty much the first part of it. But from a partnership standpoint, because of the model that we run, it is extremely important that we have engaged partners that want to be involved in the program, that want to grow their card portfolio, that want to, really promote it with their membership, because we can't do it alone. So we really do rely on the credit unions and the relationships that they have with their members to really make those recommendations and build that card program. And then we're behind them to really support them with the type of customer service that they expect. Like there's two things about like our call center that I really like to talk about, which is it's fully domestic. So we do not outsource our call center, and we do have one call resolution. So when your member services reps call up or your members call up and have a problem, our call center is empowered to be able to answer that question and resolve any issues on that call instead of doing a ticket, a callback, or something crazy like that.
You make it easy for the people, basically.
Exactly.
Talking with Ray Mahoney, the Vice President Payment Advisor for Credit Unions at Elan Advisory Services. Talk to me about what a successful credit card program would look like for any of the credit unions watching that may consider your services. What does that program look like that's successful?
Yeah, and there's a lot of different facets to it, but I think the biggest one to really start with and look at is is your card suite competitive, right? Too often I see card programs where it's just like a two-card system. It's hey, you have really good credits, you get a platinum card, and all it is a little bit lower rate, but there's no rewards, there's no other perks to it. And right now, even in the environment that we're in, rewards are one of the biggest drivers for card members and when they choose what card to go with. So if you don't even offer a rewards program, you're already losing out on a huge chunk of potential business with your members. And then you got to look at how competitive is the reward system that you have in place. And more common than not, it's a 1 point per $1 point system on that card program, and that's actually below the national average. Right now, 1.5 points per dollar is about where you want to be at. The problem with that, though, is when you start to try to scale that up, there's a cost associated with that brings the program profitability down. So it's one of the things you really got to look at, and it's one of the things that we can help provide is, make a nationally competitive card. You're looking at the technology needs too, and again, we're really witnessing that, and everybody's going through those pains from a digital banking perspective. But the card program, there's a lot of specific things. We were talking about fraud earlier. From geolocation services to locking and unlocking your card from your mobile app, like all those things are very credit card specific features that take time, that take resources, money to implement. And again, we bear that burden for the credit union.
These are all things that make sense to me. I think about when my wife and I do business. We do business with a credit union here in Massachusetts, and we've done business with banks in the past. Everybody's done business with different financial institutions, and you want to find the place that really does have the solution. It's just like here's what I want to do. I want to put my money in, and I want to get my money out, and I want to spend money on my credit card. And when I use my credit card, I do want rewards. You're absolutely right. We're talking with Ray Mahoney. He's the Vice President Payment Advisor specifically for credit unions at Elan Advisory Services. We just got a credit card from one of our credit unions, and it was great. My wife was scouring to figure out, what are the rewards? Because look, if you're going to give away free money or free points, take it. I don't care if it's airline points. I don't care if it's points, whatever it is. Sell me on the toys and the treats that I can get for using your services. I'm going to use my credit card. I mean, we're all at home right now. I'm not traveling. But I'll tell you what, my grocery store bill, through the roof. And if I'm going to keep buying groceries and doing the staycations, why not get some free points out of it? Talk about those reward programs, Ray. I mean, what's the best, and you might not know this right off the top of your head, but what's like one of the best reward programs you've seen a credit card offer out there to credit unions?
Well, I mean, in general, I think it depends on the percentage in which you receive, but cash is king when it comes to the rewards, right? So being able to redeem it for cash, because I can tell you, I have in my wallet, I probably have 2 or 3 different reward points cards, And I don't think I ever redeemed the points. Maybe for a vacation, like for miles or something. But a cash rewards card, to be able to just auto debit the money into my account or use it as statement credit, like I actually use those rewards more frequently than I would the points. It's always like, I'll save it for that bigger TV that I need more points for, and then I just never get around to using it. So cash is definitely one of the big go-to items for any consumer looking for a card.
Sure, and you might not have to win a TV because you might win a TV for being on Marketplace Monday. Exactly. If you're just tuning in, this is Marketplace Monday, presented by the Cooperative Credit Union Association. This is our third Marketplace Monday. Thanks for tuning in. If you're a vendor watching and you still want to get involved, you can. There are still spaces for sponsorships. CCUA.org. You can get all the information there. And all the credit union decision makers that are watching, we've got lots of different prizes and things coming up for you. And Ray, you're going to be spinning the prize wheel. I got one more question for you, but we're going to spin the prize wheel here in a little bit and see if you can win some money. How's that?
Sounds great.
So Ray Mahoney, the Vice President Payment Advisor for Credit Unions at Elan Advisory Services. One last question for you. I was thinking about this. What are some of the warning signs? Like, what if I'm running a card program at a credit union, what are some of the warning signs that I really need to reach out to Elan and say, I need a better partner. I need to talk to Ray.
Yeah, there's a couple. First one, which seems obvious, but is your card program growing? Too often, I review public call reports to see the financials and where things are moving. And too often I'll see, year over year, over a 3-year period, the loan portfolio in general is up 20, 30, 40% growth. But then when you look at the credit card program, it's in either a flat or a negative growth. So obviously what that says is the member service reps, the teams, they're engaged in the lending process and the recommending to members of solutions and being involved in that. But something fundamentally is wrong about that card program. It's probably coming down to the competitive nature of the program. Most commonly, that they'll be limited in options, things like that. So looking at your growth number, if it is flat or negative, your partner is not doing their job for you. The rewards program, take a look at that. Do you feel that it's worthwhile? What kind of technology features do you have? Do you feel that you're behind the curve compared to your competitors? And if you are, again, that's where we should be talking. But I think one of the most important pieces is, as a credit union leader, is it your credit union's credit card? Because if it's not, and it's not good enough for you to carry and use, then I can tell you, trickle down to your membership.
That's a great point. If you're not using the service, how can you sell me on the service? You should be using it. That's a very good point. Talking to Ray Mahoney, he's the Vice President Payment Advisor for all credit unions, and decision makers can meet you, learn a little bit about life in Cleveland with 3 kids during a pandemic. Learn about, you've been very, very informational with all the credit card knowledge. You're the credit card guy. So if you got any questions, either Ray or one of us will get back to you and we'll connect the dots. Before we go, number one, I told you you are registered to win that 75-inch flat screen TV so you can save your points on it. Here we go.
All
$50
right.
gift cards, $50 gift cards, $25 gift cards, or Dunkin' Donuts gifts on there. Ooh, $50 gift card, buddy.
All right, there we go.
There you go. $50. See, so you don't have to, just from this interview.
Hey, you never know, and it's been a great time for sure.
Good. Well, I really appreciate it. Once again, Ray Mahoney, Vice President Payment Advisor for all credit unions. He focuses on credit unions with credit card programs.
ElanAdvisoryServices.com.
Elan Advisory Services, ELAN AdvisoryServices.com. Ray, thank you so much for coming on Marketplace Monday.
Hey, thank you for having me. It was definitely a pleasure.
Stay safe out there in Cleveland. Have fun with those 3 kids. Stay creative. They're young, man. They're young. We're going to take a break, talk to some more wonderful vendors. Don't forget, credit union decision makers. I'll be giving away a $100 Visa gift card sometime on this show. Be using that chat feature because the mystery clue is coming up. All you credit union decision makers have a chance to win $2,000 in cash, but you have to have all the clues from all 9 of our shows. So if you didn't watch the first 2 shows, you'll have a chance to win $2,000 in cash. Details coming up, too, about registration for our virtual convention.
Come on. We all have heroes, those credit union legends among us who set examples for all to follow. Then why not nominate that person for one of CCUA's Awards of Excellence? The nomination process is easy as 1, 2, 3. So what's stopping you? Just get your nomination to us before the deadline, Thursday, September 3rd. For more information, visit our website,
Competitive Cardholder Rewards Program. Comprehensive compliance and risk mitigation. 24-hour cardholder service. Powerful multi-channel marketing. At Elan, we offer a single-source integrated solution to a lot of complex and potentially costly problems without the cost. Expertise. Results. Confidence.
Welcome back to Marketplace Monday, everybody. I'm your host, Isaiah, and I am pleased to be talking with another amazing vendor of ours, a vendor partner, John Yarborough, for 10 years coming on Marketplace Monday.
Thanks, Isaiah. I'm glad to be here.
I like the view out your back window. Where are we located?
I live in Indiana, but our company's out of Maryland. I travel the country, so.
Traveling the country is kind of taken a back seat, no thanks to COVID-19.
I sit right here and I talk to people on Zoom just like this. And the business has not really changed. And so people have had to become really essential workers for the financial services industry. So they've had to be there.
So talk about your company, PDP Group, providing vehicle title storage and electronic title services. What exactly is that? And if I were at a credit union,
literally storing titles that the DMVs produce for lenders, and we store them and maintain them, make sure that they're accurate, coming from the DMV. We make sure that they are updated accordingly. And then we also created an electronic interface called simplyelt.com, which allows a credit union to manage their both paper as well as electronic titles all in the same interface, and then they're not having to worry about making sure they have all those documents received. We're making sure that they're received, and then we're making sure that they're accurate. So if there's ever a question about whether this matches up with your loans, we verify that and validate it against what you've given us.
Talking to John Yarborough, the Director of Business Development and Legislative Affairs for PDP Group. You can see them online at pdpgroupinc.com. That's pdpgroupinc.com. So anything having to do with titles of vehicles, electronically or paper-wise. I mean, talk about electronic. A lot of things have gone electronic if they already weren't there. What's the difference, really? Is it better to be electronic? Tell me the advantages of going electronic, and I'm sure that's something your company focuses on for credit unions.
It's really relevant right now, right? Because of COVID and because of people having to be away from their facilities, they can't get access to release a title, a paper title, to an individual. Electronic titles allows you to do that really anywhere. You can do it from your home. We have the security built in so that outsiders aren't going to be able to getting into these accounts. You can you can designate a person to get in the account, release the title, and send it to your customer. You're not having to go into the office, pull the title out of a folder, and then sign it off and send it to the customer. So you're spending both postage and you're spending the time to do that. Electronic titles allows you just to release it, and it goes right to the member, and then they can do whatever they want to do with it, including sell it or put it in their folder.
Well, that gives the power back to the person doing it, and you're exactly right. There's no more physical going in, dealing with paper, signing it. I mean, in this day and age, a lot of people are working from home, and it just you have to just go with the times and kind of deal with the cards that were being dealt. So talking to John Yarborough, the Director of Business Development and Legislative Affairs for PDP Group. See them online at pdpgroupinc.com. Talk about some of the new services that PDP Group is adding and that will be available to our credit union decision makers watching the show today.
Sure. So if they're looking to refinance vehicles, we have a service that allows you to refinance and take care of all that DMV paperwork. So we give you we give you the fees, we give you the forms, we give you the instructions on how to process in all 51 jurisdictions across the country. So you get all that information. So you don't have to become a title expert. We become your title expert for you, and we help provide you that information. And then we process the transactions with those DMVs across the country. So that's one of the big services that we're providing. We're also adding the ability to manage your total losses. So if you have a total loss with an insurer, we will notify you that that's associated with that particular vehicle, and then you'll be able to negotiate with the insurer the balance due on those vehicles. We're also looking at being able to add the ability to do payoffs, electronic payoffs via with a dealer. So you can pay the dealer, or the dealer can pay you actually faster in the process, so that you get compensated a lot quicker than if you were to wait for their check to come in the mail.
Talking with John Yarborough, the Director of Business Development and Legislative Affairs for the PDP Group. Check them out online at pdpgroupinc.com. You folks provide vehicle title storage and electronic title services, among other things. We were chatting before we started the show, we were talking about Massachusetts, and you said it went mandatory. Talk to me about what went mandatory and how things in Massachusetts, because the CCUA represents throughout the state of Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Delaware, and Rhode Island. But talk about what you mean when you say Massachusetts went mandatory. Mandatory what?
Well, let me talk about a couple of different states. So Massachusetts went mandatory, but Maryland is going to go mandatory. So that affects your Delaware credit unions if they have a Maryland member that's doing business with them. So Massachusetts last year required that all financial institutions participate in their electronic lien and title program. And we've partnered with the Cooperative League Association to be able to provide you those electronic lien and title services, and that access via simplyelt.com that would allow you to manage those electronic titles. And we help you get signed up with the state. We'll work with you to get that set up. We're a low-cost provider. We allow you to get notified electronically. There's no user fees. There's no monthly fees. We're just providing you a fee per title, and then you're able to manage your electronic titles accordingly. So what Massachusetts also added is the ability to do an inquiry. So you can actually do an inquiry electronically via their system via our website.
Talking to John Yarborough, Director of Business Development and Legislative Affairs for the PDP Group. Find them online at pdpgroupinc.com. When it comes to title storage and title services we're talking about specifically here, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, and it sounds like you're kind of not to be cliche, but you're a one-stop shop. You'll handle things for me. If I work at a credit union and I'm dealing with titles and auto loans, I mean, you're really going to be a good partner that I need to have on my team.
Yes, you can pick up the phone, call us at any time. We're available to answer any questions really around the DMV and help you through any kind of problems that you might be having, in addition to the electronic lien and title process. I failed to mention about Maryland. Maryland is going fully electronic in January. So if you have a Maryland member, you're going to need to be signed up with a service that allows you to do electronic titles in Maryland. The benefit with that is that you no longer have to use their security interest fund, which is an extra document that is required by Maryland. You won't have to do that with electronic titles. So that's one advantage there.
John Yarborough is the Director of Business Development and Legislative Affairs for the PDP Group. You know, talking about all these titles and title storage and electronic title services, how does this change a credit union's business? You know, we've got a lot of decision makers that are watching Marketplace Monday. You know, we're trying to bring you, the good vendor, in front of these decision makers. So how does your service change a credit union's business for the better?
So I think if you're dealing with a lot of titles, a lot of auto loans, it creates a level of efficiency that you're going to experience in terms of how your titles are managed with your members. You're going to be corresponding with your members a lot more, meaning you're going to send letters out, or we're going to help you send letters out to be able to manage those auto loans. It also eliminates any kind of lost titles, any kind of errors that might be associated with the management of those paper titles. We're eliminating that problem that does occur on a regular basis when you're dealing with the DMV.
Anything having to do with titles or the DMV, you're the guy.
I'm the guy.
Can you go to the DMV and stand in that line for me? Because I hate that line.
No, I don't really like that line either, actually. I've stood in that line myself, and I've stood on the other side helping customers because I used to work for the DMV. So I've helped customers on that side, and you know what? They're not happy. Oh. And, you know, even if you have to mail your paperwork in, or you're taking it to, like in Massachusetts, you're taking it to an insurance agent, it's cumbersome. It's just an awkward. They have not gotten up to speed like I would like. But I will say one thing: Massachusetts has just added the capability, and this is like fresh news. Added the capability to do electronic signatures on the applications for title. So you're going to be able to streamline that process of once you've written that auto loan, you're going to be able to electronically complete those applications and then collect a signature electronically and be able to submit that right to the DMV. That's a huge deal, and it will help you streamline your processes with the DMV.
Well, this is one of the many reasons, John, why the credit union decision makers should be talking to you if they focus on auto loans. They obviously deal with titles with everyone. So John Yarborough, he's the person to talk to. Reaching out to John, it's easy. He's the Director of Business Development and Legislative Affairs for the PDP Group. Visit them online at pdpgroupinc.com. Thanks for coming on the show. I mean, this is a friend of mine was asking me, are you learning things on this Marketplace Monday? And I am. I mean, it's like you don't think about all these things. I've talked to IT people. I've talked to security people. Yourself, you just don't realize how much goes into titles unless that's sitting right in your lap.
It's a lot. There's a lot to deal with.
You need a vacation.
If you're dealing with all the states, that's even crazier.
Right. I'm going to vote that you take a vacation.
I would like that. That would be great.
Hey, let's do this, John. You want to spin the prize wheel? Because all of our vendor partners that come on get a chance to spin the prize wheel for some cash.
All right, do it.
Here we go. Here we go. This is for John. Here we go. That thing's going to fall over one of these times. $25 Visa gift card, John.
All right.
I'll make sure Dean gives you that. And also for being an awesome partner and a vendor, we are putting your name in the hat for a 75-inch flat screen TV. This is our road to convention. So we're going to be doing this series right through October. And at the end of the road to convention, we will put all of the vendors' names in a hat and draw somebody might win a 75-inch flat screen TV.
Well, I appreciate all the business that we get from the Cooperative Association and the members of that group, and we enjoy working with them very much, actually.
Good people at the CCUA, good people like yourself. John Yarborough, thanks for joining us on the show, Director of Business Development and Legislative Affairs, PDP Group, anything having to do with title storage and electronic title services, plus many other services. You can find it online at pdpgroupinc.com. That's pdpgroupinc.com. John, stay safe. Thanks for being on the show. Thanks for being part of the first ever Marketplace Monday experience. Nobody else is doing this. This is we're leading the way with this show.
I like it. Thanks, Isaiah.
All right. Thanks so much, John. All right. We'll be back after this. More Marketplace Monday is coming up. Stay with us.
Origins Consumer LOS. Invest in technology that matches the needs of today's consumers. We've built an end-to-end loan and account origination experience focused on exceeding consumer expectations. Our intuitive online application helps customers apply on mobile devices and desktops effortlessly, pre-filled from multiple sources, including core and digital banking systems. With Origin's new account opening, new customers can save time by opening and funding their new account anywhere, anytime. Learn how you can tap into the power of digital lending with Origin's Consumer LOS.
Welcome back to Marketplace Monday. It's Isaiah with the Cooperative Credit Union Association, and I'm pleased to have as a guest on the show now, two guests actually, Brian Hamilton and Britt Parker with CU Direct. And today we're going to learn a lot about the divisions of CU Direct, Origins and CU Direct Connect. Brian, Britt, thanks for joining us on a virtual Marketplace Monday.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
Things are different this year. Things are different this year, I think, is an understatement. We're doing our marketplace virtually. So many people are doing things virtually. I mean, the world has changed. There isn't one person on this planet that has not been affected by COVID-19 and the things going on in this world. Britt, let me just start with you and ask, how have things been for your business over the past few months?
You know, I think it's been really interesting for most of us here at CU Direct. I was just counting back on my fingers. March 19th was the last day I was here in the office, and here we are. Whatever, July, 23, 24?
Who knows?
It's 4 months, right? 4 months since we've been back we're here in Irvine talking to you today from the Irvine office. So for our organization, it was a significant change, right? I mean, a sales team and a lot of folks were working from home, but a lot of our product, our development, a lot of our executive, a lot of administration was on site. So there was a big shift for us, like many, right? That second half of March, to really go to that work from home. And we've really done a tremendous amount of analysis. You know, there's so many different platforms and programs to measure productivity. And, you know, we reforecasted as an organization when it was looking really scary there. And fortunately for CU Direct and the credit unions that participate, things are going better than we had forecasted. So it's overall, you know, it's been frankly as good as it could be.
Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that. And a lot has changed for everybody. A lot's changed with all the credit unions. And watching Marketplace Monday, we have all of our credit union decision makers watching, wanting to learn. They don't want to stay on a Zoom call for too long, so we keep these things short and sweet. These Marketplace Mondays are going to be an hour, because I think if I went into the second hour, I'd lose people and they'd never watch again. So some of the things we want to talk about, though, we really want to highlight CU Direct. And Britt, let me stay with you. Origins has introduced a new enterprise lending platform to the marketplace. What are the key advantages and the benefits of this for those CU, those credit union decision makers watching? What are the benefits of this new platform?
Isaiah, we love to talk about that. So thank you for asking that question. Maybe just level set quickly for a lot of folks there in New England, and greetings to all out there, is, people see or hear CU Direct and they think Cuddle, and that historically has been who we are, right? The indirect lending space remains very strong and prevalent, and Hamilton actually goes through these numbers for the organization, and it's interesting as a data points as things kind of hit us there late March, going into April, May. The first week of April was our lowest volume-wise. And then the credit unions, it depended by state, right? Some states better than others. That volume has come back. So the whole indirect side is not off like people might think. That auto space is chugging along just fine. I would just add to that, though, about 5-6 years ago, Isaiah, we got serious about a consumer LOS. The name of that is Lending 360. That'll be part of this rebrand to Origins. Origins is really our lender-facing brand, so credit unions will start to really see CU Direct be positioned as Origins. And now there's 175 credit unions using our consumer platform. So you've got hundreds and hundreds using the indirect side. You've got 175 on the consumer platform over the last 5-6 years. And as you continue to build out a consumer platform, we started to really come to that moment of what are we going to do with home equity? Because there's a lot of credit unions, right? Some do home equity in the consumer department, some do it in the mortgage department. And so we really faced a crossroads of do we build or do we buy? And we kind of did both. We actually bought a mortgage LOS, so the staff facing. But as far as the borrower experience, we use that time to build. And so to your original question, I just answered a long-winded answer there, Isaiah. The point is, so now Origins, right, has indirect, it has consumer, and it has mortgage. But I think what's so exciting to me in particular is that borrower experience. So if I'm a member or new member dealing with the credit union, I've got a dynamic, unified experience, whether I'm looking for membership, a home equity loan, a credit card, an auto loan. It's a beautiful new point of sell that sits on top of our consumer platform and our mortgage platform. So one experience for the borrower.
Yeah. Isaiah,
that's great.
Oh, sorry. I was going to add that from an outsider's perspective, having a seamless integration or one system that does everything seems simple enough. But it's actually been tried many times throughout the years to connect mortgage and consumer and auto, and it's never worked because of the way technology used to be configured. The way technology is configured today through APIs and more open architecture, that's achievable, but it's a very practical use case that many credit unions go through today, where you have a borrower that comes in, gets a first mortgage for you, and you get almost everything short of that member's firstborn child that you know about them. After that loan closes, that borrower can call the credit union 6 weeks later for an auto loan, and they're answering the same questions, and they don't have any of the data.
Wow.
And that's a real scenario today, and the enterprise platform that Britt and the team are building solves for that very practical problem.
Yeah, that's a terrible experience for you or I or anyone, right? It's very important as credit unions, we strive so hard to take care of our member, and we need to show that member that we know them. And Isaiah, historically, your mortgage system doesn't talk to your consumer system. They both talk to the core, but in his example, you make that call and they're like, wait, I just gave you all this information. Why do you not know that? So that's what's important about this enterprise platform is through these microservices, through these APIs, right? This platform recognizes, Isaiah's been here before. And in fact, I know all this about Isaiah because I'm looking at the core system and I'm thanking Isaiah for what he's done with us. And now I'm actually cross-selling or offering applicable things to Isaiah.
Well, that's so important this day and age. Right now, we're talking with Brian Hamilton and Britt Parker with CU Direct. We're talking about a couple of divisions of CU Direct, Origins and CU Direct Connect. Brian Hamilton, the president of CU Direct Connect, and Britt Parker, the vice president of Enterprise Solutions. You talk about data, gentlemen. You talk about knowing your audience. I mean, think about what's happening in the world today and how much misinformation is out there, how much mixed data is being pushed out there to people, and how confusing it is in a pandemic. Your company is saying, look, we have to have the right information. We have to have the right data for our consumers. You go in there, you do that, people feel safer and they feel more appreciated when the data is in the right place. It's weird how if your business could go out and do for the world about this pandemic what you do for credit unions, we'd hire you.
That's kind of you to say. Yeah, it's important, right? As credit unions, they want to create the best experience for their membership. That membership isn't coming into the branches as frequently as before, right? Maybe they're calling the call center a lot, but a lot of this now shifted online. And so that borrower experience interacting with that lender needs to be stellar, and it needs to be legitimate, right? I need to validate you're the real Isaiah so that I'm comfortable giving you the services you need. So you have the fraud components and the validation in addition to show me you know me and accelerate the process for me.
Exactly. Well, thank you, Britt. Britt is the Vice President of Enterprise Solutions and talking a bit about some of the origin side. Brian Hamilton is the President of CU Direct Connect. Do me a favor, Brian. First of all, tell me how things from your perspective, how are things these days in your world with COVID-19 and the lockdown, and the world's changed? How are things from your point of view?
Well, it's pretty crazy. I think we lose sight of the fact of how important those personal connections are. I mean, Britt and I haven't seen each other for all this time and just wanted to give each other a big old hug when we came in the office. We settled for the elbow bump, but
hold on. The elbow's big these days.
The elbow bump. But I guess I don't want to say the upside of it. I think what I want to say is the interesting thing that's come from this is that for the last decade, organizations have been saying that they need to move to digital, that remote services are important, what's happening with brand. That's been a discussion for a very long point in time. But it's taken a tragedy to be the inflection point to force us to say, is this going to work? Like, can we operate this way? Can we operate remotely? Will our members still get the level of service? Will we lose productivity and no employee is going to work because they're at home? Like, all of those questions, for better or for worse, have been answered. What's interesting to me, the academic, the geek side of me, is I'm curious to see. I think this is going to change the way we do business profoundly across many industries on a go-forward basis, right?
I agree.
In the auto space, I was at an auto roundtable and dealerships said, gosh, we're not going to be completely remote anymore, but we also don't think we necessarily need to be structured the way we are structured. And for our service in particular, the business process outsourcing, the BPO service, right, which is the outsourced solution to do work on behalf of our credit union clients, it's predicated on being remote because we're not in the branches or in the operation centers with the clients. So for us, it wasn't a big stretch. We did have to move from in-office to work from home. But if anything, it's helped some of our clients to realize not only was there value in the way and the service that we're doing, but how can we do extensions of that? We have one client that we do these, we take their documents, we digitize the documents, we stack them, and we deliver them. And they said, gosh, we've never thought about the fact that we don't want our team members touching all that paper that comes in. Yeah. And now that's never been a benefit that we would have thought to tout for the service. But now all of a sudden that's a benefit that's very real.
Yeah. Talking with Brian Hamilton and Britt Parker here on Marketplace Monday. They're both from CU Direct, and the two divisions that we're discussing under CU Direct Origins and CU Direct Connect. All of the credit union decision makers that are watching this now are hopefully learning something from you gentlemen. Thank you for that. I do have another question for you, Brian. Outsourcing services, is that helping transform the way credit unions are doing business in this COVID-19 time? Is that a good thing for credit unions?
Sure, absolutely. So it does a couple things. There's really two profound impacts that have come from COVID. One is what we call organic workforce management, right? Credit unions culturally do not like to lay team members off. And I love that about being in the credit union industry for so long. The downside of that is when you have to scale up, I'll actually see credit unions that temper business because they're afraid to scale up their internal staffing and they don't want to take on more business than they can handle because they're worried about the people, that if they hire for it and business drops, they're in a tough place. So one of the core value propositions of CU Direct Connect, of CUDC's BPO offering, is we become that organic workforce extension for the credit union. We de-risk the growth that they could go. So whether they want to add a new business line, whether they want to do more business of the same business they're doing or add a geography, they can use our services to test that out and to really get traction and then maybe bring team members back in-house and add to staff. But let us take that risk for them. And for us, it's not a risk because we'll do that across hundreds of clients. So the variance is mitigating.
I appreciate that. Brian Hamilton and Britt Parker from CU Direct divisions of Origins and CU Direct Connect. Gentlemen, thanks so much for coming on the show today. I've learned a lot, and I want to make sure that the people that are watching this, because we're not only going to be running this live on our Marketplace Monday, but we're going to be rebroadcasting this and pushing this out to all of our decision makers throughout all 4 states of the Cooperative Credit Union Association, through Delaware, through New Hampshire, through Massachusetts, and through Rhode Island. How do I get a hold of you so you can tell me more about your products? Make it easy for me.
Just go to origins.com. That would be the easiest way. CUdirect.com works as well, but Origins will detail the functionality that is applicable to the lender. And I think that's kind of the comment I just wanted to get in there, if I can, Isaiah, is as a lender, right? Now I can have a platform that handles my membership, it handles my consumer lending, and handles mortgage lending. And that's what's new when we say Origins, and why CU Direct went through this rebrand, is now the mortgage department has that ability for it to really take care of that borrower in an exceptional fashion, and it's tied together with consumer and account origination. So that really empowers the credit union to really engage with the membership at a level they've not had before.
Well, listen, I really appreciate your time. Do you want to win some prizes?
Prizes.
Get in now.
Come on, I told these guys about the
Get
prize
the wheel.
wheel.
Let's see it.
Come on, hold on. Here we go. Talk to me. There's the prize wheel.
Awesome.
All right, you got to tell me when to spin. Tell me when.
After you.
Now.
We got money on the line. Money on the line.
Will.
Oh, free spin. One more time.
All right.
Oh, get another spin, a bonus spin.
Nobody loses here. Nobody loses here on the show. Oh, wait, another free spin.
Dude, let's just keep spinning.
I do this all day, to be honest.
Right, here we go. Wait a minute, free spin.
Dude, it's rigged. Isaiah, what's going on with your will?
Dude, free spin.
Look at this, 4 in a row.
This has got to be a first.
Let it keep going. Free spin.
It's weighted.
Hey, you guys have Dunkin' Donuts out there?
We do.
You got some Dunkin' Donuts gift cards.
All right.
Awesome.
That only took 5 spins.
Thank you, Isaiah.
I hope we set a record with you there, Isaiah, with the 5 spins.
Listen, when I was building this, my wife and I were looking at it. I'm like, what should I write in these things? And you had some good ideas before the show. Should we shave an eyebrow? No. We have to write things like gift cards and nice things. And I did write, sorry you lost. And she's like, you should probably just write free spin and be nice.
Yeah,
so
that's not a cutting thing.
You would have lost, but you got 3-4 free spins, and now you got a Dunkin' Donuts gift card.
Awesome.
Love it.
Thank you
kindly. You guys have been awesome. Thanks so much. Brian Hamilton, Britt Parker from CU Direct. Brian Hamilton, the president of CU Direct Connect. Britt Parker, the vice president of Enterprise Solutions. So much to learn. Go to origins.com. And really, all the decision makers of the credit unions watching, talk to these gentlemen. They've just got to see it. It sounds to me like a very seamless way to come up with some really amazing solutions for what you need at your credit union. So, gentlemen, Brian, Britt, again, thanks so much for joining us on Marketplace Monday.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Our pleasure. All the best.
Monica, over here.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. The sounds of tutoring and tech and health and fitness and arts and music. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
CEO of the Year.
Do you know someone who is making a difference by their personal embrace of the credit union system and its values and principles? Come on. We all have heroes, those credit union legends among us who set examples for all to follow. Then why not nominate that person for one of CCUA's Awards of Excellence? Professional of the Year, CEO of the Year, Volunteer of the Year, and Hall of Fame Career Achievement. The nomination process is easy as 1, 2, 3. So what's stopping you? Just get your nomination to us before the deadline, Thursday, September 3rd. For more information, visit our website, ccua.org, and we'll be sure to look for your hero in the winner's circle.